very good evening and welcome to yet another edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Jadabdeen. We start off with a look at your headlines.
Newsfirst headline.
And in headlines, Supreme Court dismisses petition challenging constitutionality of presidential election. Sirisena must pay Easter attack compensation in full before the 30th of August. Electricity tariff reduction from tomorrow. Minister Vidra Wickramanayake announces return of UK's colonial era antiquities including Tara statue. Israel launches new Gaza strikes after weekend attack kills scores in safe zone. Kazakhstan's MotoGP race cancelled. Misano gets 2 rounds. And in your top story this evening, the Supreme Court ruled to dismiss without examination the fundamental rights petition, which sought a declaration that holding the presidential election is unconstitutional. The decision was made by the Supreme Court bench affirming the formal adoption of the 19th Constitutional Amendment without the need for a referendum as per prior Supreme Court rulings in 2015. In addition to this ruling, the bench instructed the petitioner to pay a court fee of 500,000 rupees, presented before a panel consisting of Chief Justice Jayanta Jayasuriya and Justices Arjuna Obesekar and Priyantha Fernando. The petition was filed by lawyer Attorney-at-Law Aruna Laksiri. He contended in his petition that the 19th Amendment was not enacted in a proper manner, suggesting that conducting a presidential election without submitting it to a referendum is a violation of the Constitution. Furthermore, the petitioner had requested an order for the Parliament's Secretary General to refer the 19th Constitutional Amendment to a referendum. The respondents named in the petition include the Election Commission, its members, the Secretary General of Parliament and the Attorney General. And also in more local news, the Supreme Court has ordered the former President Maithripala Sirisena to pay the outstanding compensation to the victims of the Easter Sunday attacks before the 30th August. Former Sri Lanka President Maithripala Sirisena earlier today informed the Supreme Court that out of the 100 million rupees ordered to be paid as compensation for the victims of the Easter attack, 58 million rupees has already been paid. Sirisena had also requested for 6 years for the remaining amount to be paid. On the 12th of January 2023, Sri Lanka Supreme Court ordered the government to pay 1 million rupees as compensation per person to those who were killed in the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks. The Supreme Court ruled that the respondents named in the fundamental rights petition for failing to prevent the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks, despite having credible information of an imminent attack, had violated the fundamental rights of the petitioners. The respondents named in the petitions were former President Maithripala Sirisena, former Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando, former Police Chief Pujit Jasundra, former National Intelligence Service Chief Sisira Mendis and former State Intelligence Services Chief Nilantha Jayawardena. Court ordered former President Maithripala Sirisena to pay a compensation of 100 million rupees. Former Police Chief Pujit Jasundra and former State Intelligence Services Chief Nilantha Jayawardena were ordered to pay a compensation of 75 million rupees each. Former Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando to pay a compensation of 50 million rupees. Former National Intelligence Service Chief Sisira Mendis was ordered by court to pay a compensation of 10 million rupees. The Supreme Court said that all these funds need to be collected and be used to compensate the victims of the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks. And also shifting your attention towards more local news, a decision was reached to reduce the electricity tariff by 22.5% effective tomorrow. The announcement was made by the chairman of the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, Professor Manjula Fernando, during a media briefing today. The PUCSL chairman said the rate per unit was reduced from 8 rupees to 6 rupees for domestic users using between 0 to 30 units categorized as low-income families. He said the price per unit for 30 to 60 units was reduced from 20 rupees to 9 rupees. Fernando said a special concession was given to factories and accordingly the rates will be reduced by 33% during the daytime. He added that the rates for general purpose electricity users was reduced by around 20%. And also in more local news, Buddha Shasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs Minister Vidra Vikramanayake said that many antiquities taken from the country by the United Kingdom during the colonial period, including the statue of Tara, will be returned to Sri Lanka. The minister pointed out that an education system that suits the country and culture should be created in a manner that instills a sense of pride in the minds of the people about the country. Minister of Buddha Shasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs Vidra Vikramanayake expressed these views during a press conference themed Collective Path to a Stable Country held at the Presidential Media Center today. And up next is international news.
International news.
And in news overseas, Israel struck the southern and central Gaza Strip to put more pressure on Hamas following a weekend strike targeting the militant group's leadership, which killed scores of Palestinians camped in a designated safe zone. 2 days after the Israeli strike turned a crowded swathe of Mawasi near the Mediterranean coast into a charred wasteland littered with burning cars and mangled bodies, displaced survivors said they had no idea where they should go next. Mawasi, on the western outskirts of Khan Yunis, had been sheltering hundreds of thousands of Palestinians who fled to the area after Israel declared it a safe zone. Israel said its strike there on Saturday targeted Hamas militant commander Mohammed Daif, an architect of the October 7 assault on Israeli towns and villages that triggered the Gaza war. And up next is your update on sports.
Sports news.
And in sports, MotoGP cancelled a scheduled race in Kazakhstan today and replaced it with an Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Italy's Misano circuit on the September 20th to the 22nd. MotoGP promoter Donald said in a statement that the inaugural race at Almaty's Sokol circuit could not be held due to operational and logistical issues arising from the earlier flooding across the region. The race had already been postponed and rescheduled to take the place of India, whose round at Noida was cancelled in May for operational reasons. Kazakhstan's Emergencies Ministry said in April that flooding had led to evacuation of almost 117,000 people. And with that, of course, we wrap up this evening edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I've been Jod Abdin. Thank you for watching. Good night and take care.